when the operation of the machine becomes so odious, makes you so sick at heart that you can't take part. You can't even passively take part. And you've got to put your bodies upon the gears and upon the wheels, upon the levers, upon all the apparatus, and you've got to make it stop.
Hi! So that speech was by Maurice Savio, who was a key member of the free speech movement back in 1964. And this really fits the theme of the album of human oppression, fear, and of course the nuclear warfare. So this week I decided to do something different because not many movies are released in this pandemic. So I decided to review one of my favorite music albums by Linkin Park, which is 1,000 Suns. 1,000 Suns was released on 10th of September 2010. So in this week, it marks the 10th anniversary of the album. Produced by Mike Shinoda and Rick Rubin, this album, if you compare with the first two albums, which is Hybrid Theory and Meteora, it is a big and drastic change in the band's direction. If I recall correctly, when the album first came out, I think a lot of fans didn't really like it. No, those kind of fans, the first album was way better. And when the first single, The Catalyst, came out, I didn't know what to think. I didn't know what I should feel. But it was when I get to listen to the whole album, I was pretty much mind blown of their work here. I was pretty much hooked to the album. I think in just 3 days, I've listened repeatedly like 7 times. In fact, until this day, I still pretty much enjoy the album. It's my second favorite Linkin Park album following after Hybrid Theory. And I tell you why. You can pretty much look up the concept of the album talking about human fears and the nuclear stuff that I just mentioned. But what really made me love this album so much is that the way they produced the album is like a song itself. This whole album is like a song. So in other words, you really have to listen to this album from the very beginning until the end because it brings you on a musical journey of exploring these human emotions all over the place. And not to forget the sounds they produced for this album. It's just years ahead of its time. Because if you listen to this album right now, people would go like, yeah, this is how, not surprised that they will come out with this kind of album. But back in 2010, people, I guess, they didn't know how to understand this new sound. When Linkin Park recently just released the meeting of 1,000 Suns on their YouTube channel, I think it was probably a week ago. They showed us the process of how they came out with the sounds. They tried all kinds of sounds, all the layers, all the electronic sounds. It's very experimental. On the album, there are 15 tracks, but actually only 8 of them are actual songs, while the rest are kind of like instrumental or speeches from other key figures. And personally for me, I really love all the songs in this album except for Robot Boy. If you listen to Robot Boy as an individual song, it doesn't sound as impactful as it should. But Robot Boy as part of the album, it makes sense. It is part of the journey. My favorite tracks on the album will be Waiting for the End, Blackout, Iridescent, The Catalyst, and The Messenger. And if you listen to this song, it's actually very interesting because it's not electronic, nor is it industrial rock. It's just a very simple acoustic song. And it's the perfect song to end the album because when you go through the album, it's like you listen to political messages, regrets, nuclear warfare, and so on. And this last song, alongside Iridescent, it gives a message of hope. Despite all this negativity and the struggles that we humans face throughout every day, there is hope at the end. With that said, listening to this album in this period is just perfect because it fits so much on what is happening around the world today. Seriously, it's just perfect. Of course, the lyrics for this song that I mentioned is also very relatable. The part where Chester sang Waiting for the End. I know what it takes to move on. I know how it feels to lie. Like, come on, that is so, it just hit right through the heart here. And in Iridescent, where it says, do you feel cold and lost in desperation? You bear hope and failures of your known. Remember all the sadness and frustration and let it go. Just let it go. So that's all I gotta say about the album. If you have not liked the album before, please do give it a try one more time. I believe over the years you have developed your musical taste, so when you listen to this album, listen it with an open mind and try to see what they are trying to tell you through this album. So that's all from me. Thanks for watching. I see myself doing more of this kind of videos when there are no movies to review. So yeah, like and subscribe and see ya.